Here we go. All right. Well, welcome. And so glad you're all here to do meditation, and welcome online. Welcome to Kunsang Peo Choling. Like I was mentioning before, whenever we sit down to do something like this, like a group practice or group meditation, we always want to start with our proper motivation, the proper intention for doing this. So we talked about earlier this bodhicitta intention, or it's kind of like the intention of the bodhisattvas, which is that compassionate wish to free all beings from suffering. So we want to imagine that whatever we learn today, whatever calm or peace that we have from doing this practice, that we not only enjoy that for ourselves, but we offer that to all beings. May all beings have peace. May all beings have a calm and settled mind, especially in such a time where there's so much upheaval. There's so much going on in the world. That handout that you got, we'll start with a 7-line prayer before we'll jump into the meditation. So do your best. You can read along, you can try to chant it, or you can just observe. And we'll do that 3 times in Tibetan. I'm going to put that up on the screen here. And if anyone needs more cushions, there are more pads here. So do you want one? Okay. Okay. Ong organ yogi nucham sam pemage sardombola yasan shogi nodrumne pemajungne shesudra koru kandrom mambokor keki jesu da druki jinjilok shir sheksu sol Guru Bema Siddhi Hum. We'll do that 2 more times. Organ Yogi Nucham Sam Pemage Sardompola Yasan Shogi Nodrumne Pemajungne Shesudra Koryu Kandrom Mampokor Keki Jesu Dang Druki Jinjilok Shir Sheksu Sol Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Organ Yogi Nucham Sam Pemage Sardompola Yasan Shogi Nodrumne Pemajungne Shesudra Koryu Kandrom Mampokor Keki Jesu Dak Druki Jinjilok Shir Sheksu Sol Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. All right, so in this class, we're going to do 3 different types of meditation. So we'll start with that first type of meditation I was talking about, which is Shamatha meditation, or calm abiding meditation. But first we want to just quickly go over what is meditation. What's the purpose of meditation? Meditation is the natural state of our minds when it's relaxed, when it's stable and open. So it not only trains our mind to be more stable and more open, but also more alert and wakeful, more aware. So the whole point of meditation is to create more spaciousness in the mind. And we can think of so many different things in these modern lives, these modern lives we're living, that are constantly competing for that spaciousness in our mind. All the things we have to do, all the things we're concerned about, maybe we're taking care of others, maybe we're stressed, maybe we're overwhelmed or busy, and all the distractions and everything going on in the world, so much to be, just upset about, also the state of the world. It's very easy for our minds to become very inflamed and distracted, and it's hard to find peace in our mind. And we think about all the other things we might do to care for ourselves. Maybe we take vitamins, maybe we exercise, maybe we go to the doctor. But what are we actually doing for our mind? And oftentimes we don't even know how busy and full and kind of circling our mind can be until we sit and try to be quiet and still in meditation. And it's really that time that we can give such a gift to ourselves, that pause, that rest, this like deep well within us that is, if we're able to dive below all these turbulent waves of our mind, of our emotions, all the things, all the distractions, if we're able to really dive deep down within our mind, we can find that still. We can find that of stillness and stability that's all the time. We forget that it's there, but it is there for us. And oftentimes it just takes the consistency of doing meditation, of finding that stillness, finding that awareness to get in touch with that place inside of us. So learning meditation can also help us balance our emotions. It can help us become less reactive, creating a pause between our actions and our reactions. Again, so anything that's coming at us in our life, or any communication or anything that's happening, we can meet it with a calm and spacious mind. And when we have a calm and spacious mind, anything that's happening, even if it's very disruptive, we're going to be less reactive to that. We'll be less angry. We'll be less upset. We'll be less, stressed about things. If we approach it, we take a breath and approach it with a calm and stable mind. So meditation will affect and can affect every aspect of your life. So today we're doing a very formal, sitting meditation, but you can take that mind of awareness wherever you go. You can tap into that in yourself and find that restful, spacious mind. And, that can carry you through difficult times. So, meditation is very important to the Buddhist path as well, because it's the first step in developing bodhicitta. And again, that bodhicitta is that compassionate wish to free all beings from suffering. So if we can't calm our mind down or be so self-concerned of all the things we're going through, how can we possibly think of others? How can we possibly think of how others are doing, how they may feel? So just the same way that we wish to be happy, if we recognize that all beings wish to be happy, we can recognize that in that same way of that bodhicitta mind, we wish and hope that we can free all beings from suffering, because all beings have that same wish to be free from suffering and to be happy. So in that way, we are so similar at our core in that way. So again, meditation can create that calmness in mind, so that awareness and love and compassion for others can naturally arise in our mind. So we'll sit. It's set up a little different today. If you want to get a cushion too, feel free. Yeah. So we're just gonna first get in our meditation posture. So, we're gonna sit with a straight spine, as straight as possible, not rigid. You're just have like a lifted spine, and your shoulders are back and your elbows are back. And this posture actually helps keep the mind more focused and aware. So, because if we were doing meditation like this or like this, it's completely different. So this position actually is very helpful for keeping an alert mind. So the traditional posture we're going to do is the right hand over the left with the thumbs touching, and you just place that in your lap. If you're in a chair and it's easier to just put your hands on your thighs, that's fine too. So we'll put our hands in our lap like that. And with this meditation, we keep our eyes open, but we're gazing towards the floor. So we're kind of resting our gaze. We're not like looking around the room. We're trying to eliminate basically as many distractions as possible. And when those distractions do arise, which they will, because there's sounds in the rooms, there's our, external distractions, internal distractions, you're going to have thoughts arise. The main point of this is to return our focus again and again to the breath. So every time we, feel our mind being like, maybe we're thinking, how long will this happen? What are we doing after this? What am I going to have for lunch? Whatever thoughts arise, we're just going to gently bring our attention back to our breath. So we're just like, okay, I see that you're wandering here. Bring it back. We're not judging our mind. We're not saying, oh, I'm so terrible at meditation. We're just gently bringing our attention back to our breath. And when I say attention to the breath, it's not a heavy attention on the breath. It's not like, okay, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Okay, focus on the breath, focus on the breath. It's a very light attention. So if your mind has to be somewhere, it's on the breath. So again, you're just bringing it back, and it's a very light attention on the breath, like a gossamer thin attention on the breath. So your attention is like a feather gently riding the surface of your breath. So, and we're going to also have just a little bit of our breath come through the mouth as well. And we just like ever so slightly having the mouth open, not like this, but it's just like it's like our lips are parted just slightly. And then we just put the tip of our tongue on the back of our front teeth, like we're saying the letter L. So this actually helps all these postures, every aspect of the posture helps keep the mind alert and present. Because again, it's not just about sitting still, because that's not meditation. It's also about what our mind is doing. So we could all externally look like we're amazing meditators because we're so still and our posture is so perfect. But our mind could be running around. A lot of the teachers talk about monkey mind, just like jumping around like a wild monkey. So we're trying to keep everything, including our mind, as still as possible. So let's do our best with this that we can. I'll just bring a little timer out. And we'll just do a few minutes to warm up. It's not very loud, but you'll hopefully hear it. So we're just going to do 3 minutes, okay? And when we're starting meditation, we always want to start with a short time. It's never advised to just sit down and try to do a 45-minute meditation straight. It's really something to build upon. And it's you really see the benefits of meditation, kind of like the long-term effect of it at the more consistent you are with doing it. So even if you want to start a meditation practice on your own, you could even start with 30 seconds, a minute, and just take a rest and then start again, a rest and start again. And you'll see how the stability in your mind increases over time. Okay, so we'll start 3 minutes. Very quiet. So we're just breathing naturally. So as you're meditating, we're breathing as naturally as possible. And it might take a few deep breaths to get to that natural rhythm of your breath. And that's all right too, to do that. going to do a little bit longer. So again, you can just gradually increase your time. We're going to just do 5 more minutes. And if you feel free if you need to do anything or leave or whatever you need. So we'll do 5 more minutes, and again, if you find it's okay. If you find that your mind feels very distracted today, and it's hard to kind of, leave our thoughts behind, we can imagine actually like even cutting the thoughts. So if the thoughts are really strong, you can imagine cutting the thoughts or tossing the thoughts away. So we'll try 5 more minutes, and again, just see how you do. Again, this is not about judging ourselves like, oh, I did a good job or oh, I did a bad job. It's really just about your effort, your right effort, and thank you. And and just doing your best. And again, you'll see the benefits as you do this again and again. So there's the point is not to judge ourselves or compare ourselves from one meditation to the next. Okay, so we'll do 5 minutes. you all so much for coming. Yeah, thank you. Remind me of the name of your church again one more time.
Cleveland Park.
What is it?
Cleveland Park Congregation.
Oh, Cleveland Park. Okay, congregation. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks, Ellen. And I hope you just feel free to enjoy the grounds. Please make sure before you go you see the koi ponds. They're so beautiful. Yeah. They're like out the door, kind of like past the little driveway here. You'll see these two red arbors going down there, and very beautiful. Yeah, thank you all. And you can just leave your handouts right here or wherever you. Yeah. Thank you. You can just put them on the chair there. I'll put them away. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can just put them on the chair. Thank you. So next up, we'll be doing Tonglen. So now that we've kind of calmed our minds a bit, we will focus on our compassion and opening our hearts. So you can go out this way. Yeah. 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 No problem. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you. So the practice of Tonglen, which is also referred to as giving and receiving. I think everyone in this room has done the practice before. This is a practice that really helps us establish and develop our compassion and the ability to be present for our own suffering and the suffering of others. So it uses that energy of loving kindness to open our hearts to the suffering of others and really transform that energy into well-being. So in this practice, we're actually imagining that we're taking on all the suffering of all beings. And the suffering of others, we're taking that into ourselves, and then we're sending them all of our happiness. So this is a mental exercise. We're not actually taking all their suffering, but it helps us to gradually cherish ourselves less over others. Our habit is to be so self-concerned, and to just think about ourselves and our needs. So this just really helps us expand beyond ourselves and open ourselves up to loving all beings, feeling compassion for all beings, and really developing a deeper sense of equanimity. We're going to stay in our meditation posture, and we're going to imagine one person in front of us, and we can also switch out maybe one or two people for whom we easily feel love towards. So this is someone you think of and you're like, oh, I love this person, or you have, and it's someone that you would be very upset if this person was suffering in any way or was going through something difficult. You're easily touched by their suffering. So this could be a parent, this could be a sibling, this could be a child, this could be your pet. Again, anyone for whom you easily have feelings of compassion towards. So you're going to really imagine what it would be like to stand in their shoes and imagine them going through some sort of suffering. And that feeling is going to help give rise to compassion for them. So if you were imagining maybe they're going through something really rough, or imagining them going through some horrible situation, how would that help, cultivate this compassion? Oh, I want to relieve their suffering. I want to take that suffering away. So we use that kind of fervent wish. And we're going to do this by paying attention to our breath. So on the inhale, we're going to be breathing in through our nose, And we're going to be breathing in just all their compassion, or sorry, all their suffering, all their any like sadness or misery they're going through. We're breathing that in as like a dark smoke. So we're just fully taking that in. And then we're imagining that we're actually relieving them from all that suffering. We can see that we're relieving all that suffering from them. And then as we exhale, as we breathe out, we're just sending all of our happiness, all innumerable causes of happiness, all of our joy, all of our good qualities. We're sending that to them in this bright light. And we see them receiving that and see them becoming this, just this, receiving all that happiness. So we might think as we breathe in, may you be free from suffering. And as you breathe out, may you be happy. So it's just this exchange of our breath again and again. So we're going to practice that for a few minutes and do our best with that. Do this for 3 minutes. And again, you can interchange between, one person to another person, however you want to do that. So we'll do this for a few minutes. Okay. Hi. The cushions. There's cushions here, and then some in the, yeah. And we're just doing Tonglen, the start of Tonglen. Okay. So now, most of you know what we're going to do next, which is now choose someone who you easily feel aversion, frustration, anger towards. Maybe this is someone you just don't like. And this is a way to include someone who maybe you don't think deserves your compassion, deserves your love. Maybe this is someone that hurt you in some way. Maybe this is someone that is you just think is awful or is hurting many people. And we're going to imagine doing the same exercise, the same breathing, where we're just taking on all of their suffering, all of their confusion, anything. Because if you really think about maybe someone who you view as an awful person, if we think of all beings trying their best to be happy and not knowing how to do that, being in complete delusion or confusion about how to do that. But if we really think of the core of all beings are trying to be happy, like all beings want to avoid suffering, but they don't know how to do that. And so if we imagine even someone that we can't even come to grips with giving them any of our love or compassion, and we think about that and we think, okay, well, this being is also trying to be happy, and what would they be like? What would this being be like if all of their suffering was taken away? And if they had every opportunity and every, inconceivable arising of happiness, and who would that person then be? Imagining if you're actually taking all of their suffering and giving them all of your happiness and your joy, and really seeing that they fully are receiving that. I mean, and I've said this a few weeks, it's like, wouldn't you do that? Wouldn't you, if you could take someone's suffering away and truly see that person happy and see, them in their just full happiness and joy, wouldn't you do that for every single being? And we really, when this practice, we're trying to expand our equanimity for all beings. And that means that no one is left out. We can't say that we're trying to practice compassion for all beings and leave a few people out of that, because that's not the point. The point is to expand this out to all beings. And it might be hard at first, but we have to start chipping away at our resentment, at our anger, the iciness, the walls around our heart. Because if we don't try, then it won't happen. So this really helps. This is such a good practice for this time when we're meant to feel like we're so pitted against each other, especially in this country. This is such a good practice. To just bring everyone together and to just, I think it's when there's feelings of hopelessness, like, will we ever come together again? This practice can just really help, really, really help. So let's try this for a few minutes. Again, someone who we feel deep aversion or frustration or upset or anger towards. And if you're like, I don't really feel that towards anyone, then you can even think of someone that you maybe got in an argument with, or a little, someone that you just felt mildly frustrated with. Even that, we can use that for our Tonglen practice. Okay, so we'll start now. So we're going to do this for another minute, and we're just going to try to expand out to include more people in this group. So maybe there's a group of people you're frustrated with. Maybe you're frustrated with all your coworkers. Maybe you're frustrated with, there's many things, let's just say there's many things to be frustrated with about now that's going on in our world. So expanding that group out to include more than just one person. So let's try that now for another minute. All right. So again, we can use this practice again and again to increase our compassion and widen the net of our compassion towards all beings. And we can begin to really have loving kindness and compassion through all beings, to all beings throughout all of existence. And that's the goal, to leave no being out from our love and compassion. And again, you can use this practice throughout your day. You can, wherever you are, if you're, around a group of people, if you're waiting in line at the doctor's office, if you're, in your car, you can just do this practice and do this visualization wherever you are, because you have your breath wherever you are. So you can do this practice, and especially is useful when our minds are very hopeless or agitated, or this is just something we can always have in our back pocket to use. So with that, let's finish how we do each week with the guided meditation. So we'll do a guided meditation before our dedication. I see everyone grabbing their dedication. Before we do our dedication, we'll do the guided meditation by our teacher Jetsunma, which is the light expansion prayer. So again, this is yet another way to increase our love and compassion and expanding that brilliant light out to all beings. So you can just listen along for this. Let us become still. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Again. Let us center deep within. Center deep within. Deep within to the presence of the Absolute. And there is radiance. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace the physical body. And all of the physical body is filled with the presence of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill our beings on all dimensions. And all that we are is filled with the radiance of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill everyone here and everyone here on all dimensions is filled with the presence of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace this building. And all of this building is filled with the light of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace this nation. And all the government of this nation is filled with the radiance of the Absolute. And the people of this nation are one life. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace planet Earth. All nations and all governments are filled with the presence of the Absolute. And there is peace. And the 8 billion are one life, radiant. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill this galaxy. All planets, all stars, and all life forms are within the embrace of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace the universe. All dimensions and all kingdoms are filled with the presence of the Absolute. And in all the universe, there is only one life. Now, as we return our consciousness back to physical form, we continue to embrace all that is and to know union, that we are one. So now we'll do our dedication prayer, or prayers, and we do this again to seal in the virtue and benefit of doing our meditation practice together. And we dedicate that to all sentient beings. So we'll put that up on the screen now. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I've accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice and all that I'll ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, whether wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas all together, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, and whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. And by this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. So thank you all for coming today and for this new seating arrangement. The room is about to be switched over right now because there is going to be a teaching from Kempo Karze at 1. This is a continuation of the instructions on the Riggs and Dupa practice. So if you have been going to to those teachings, it's been in a few teachings. I think there's 3 total teachings, I think. So that will be happening at 1 o'clock in this room. And then tomorrow, the regular scheduling of Kempo Karze teaching at 11:30 will be happening in here, which is a teaching and a meditation and a Q&A and a short Chinrezi practice. So please join us for that as well. That's also online. And I'm going to end the